What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another video. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out. We're on our way to 2,000, and I think we're about a little bit over 80 subscribers to that path. So please subscribe, share out to anyone who's Giants fan, anyone who's a Yankees fan, all that other good stuff. So I thought of doing another New York Giants draft possibility video, and this is definitely in terms of the title of the video and the situation we're going to be talking about today, it's definitely a realistic possibility that this could happen in the draft at the end of April. And by the way, we're also cooking up some really good draft content. Nonetheless, today we're going to talk about what if the New York Giants don't take a quarterback in the first round and second round too of the NFL draft in 2024, which will be next month. So, really simple. We're going to break it down. Options at 6. Before that, why they wouldn't take a quarterback, what to do about quarterback, and expectations. So let's start why they wouldn't. Number one is the New York Giants are at 6 overall. And the Vikings, who sit at number 11, have also geared up with the 23rd overall pick traded by the Houston Texans. They have geared up to what it seems like trade into the top 5 for a quarterback because they don't have anyone reliable right now. I think it's Sam Darnold and a couple other different guys that aren't really that reliable. So we know number 1, Caleb Williams is definitely going to Chicago. If it's not Caleb Williams, it's going to be Jaden Daniels. And Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels will go too. That's just my personal opinion. Now, there's going to be a lot of things that go down with number 3 overall. Does New England like Drake May? Do they not like Drake May? Do they like J.J. McCarthy? There's a lot of different things going on there, and there's rumors about them trading out, and the Minnesota Vikings could be feasting on that spot. So they could say, hey, listen, we're going to give you a 23-11 and this for your 3rd overall pick, and that could happen, right? Which realistically would still leave the New York Giants with a quarterback, probably J.J. McCarthy or Drake May. Now, also, here's another thing, too. What if the Patriots decide, hey, we're just going to go out there and pick out a quarterback, whoever's left of the 3, right? There could be a trade up to 4. The Giants could even trade out, but we'll talk about that in a sec. There could be a trade up to 4 with the Arizona Cardinals. I think they have 11 draft picks. The Chargers, right? They need a couple of different pieces. With this whole, Keenan Allen moving on and Mike Williams moving on, they need a couple of different pieces. The Vikings could say, hey, listen, we're going to offer you a boatload of picks to go up to 5 and get right in front of the New York Giants, and boom, we're going to take our quarterback. So at that point, 4 quarterbacks would be taken, and the Giants would be left with Bo Nix or Michael Penix, in my personal opinion, and neither are worth selecting with a 6th overall pick. And the Giants could use this excuse, and I know it's a fan excuse, because we really don't know the reasoning if they don't do this, is, they don't have the assets to trade up, quote unquote. They have the 6th pick. They have their 2nd round, that's 47. They have their 3rd, their 4th, their 5th, their 6th. And then they would have to dig into next year's class if they want to really go up to 3. I think they probably have to offer a 2nd. Again, I don't know the approximate value, but the excuse will be thrown out there. The Giants don't have the assets to trade up. Now, I'm personally of the opinion if your guy is in the top 3, you go get your guy, the guy you love the best as your quarterback, and you don't worry about the assets till later on. Now, the Giants probably don't have the same opinion as me, and the fan base differs on that opinion, some on my side, some on the other side. But overall, why they wouldn't is the Giants have teams that are willing to jump them. Nonetheless, Denver and Las Vegas are in the conversation. And the Giants don't have the assets to trade up, so they might be left with a different guy that they probably don't want. I mean, Penix could still be there. Hell, they may not like the guy that falls to them. They may not like J.J. McCarthy. They may not like Drake May. But nonetheless, let's move on. Options at 6. So I think we talked about this a couple of seconds ago, trading back with a quarterback-needy team. The Giants could go out there, let's say trade back with the Minnesota Vikings, because at that point they like J.J. McCarthy. I think that's bullshit, by the way, but they like J.J. McCarthy, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to take the Giants 6th, and the Giants will go out and take their 11 and 23 and whatever picks they will attach, okay? So the Giants could take that as two different routes. They could say, okay, maybe one of these picks will select a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix, which could be done, but in this situation we're talking about them not getting a quarterback at all. You could take a wide receiver, okay, at 11. There's going to be like the lower end of those first-round wide receivers. MHJ will be gone. Neighbors will be gone. Odunze will be gone, at least in my opinion. You might get Odunze at 11, but nonetheless, you got Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas. There's a couple of different guys in no specific order. And then at 23, you could do a lot of different things. I know some corners are falling. Cooper DeJean from Iowa is falling. Kool-Aid McKinstry is falling a little bit because they're favoring Terry and Arnold. You could also go offensive line if you want to. Even though that's been quote-unquote solved, I would still draft an offensive lineman. And the Giants could, have a couple of different situations set up. And if they get a first-round pick or a second-round pick for next year, that could cause them to move up next year for a quarterback. But again, I'm not favorable to that situation. I'm just pointing out all the avenues. Now, if they do want to go out there, right, if they do want to go out there and say, hey, we're going to stick to 6, but we're not going to take a quarterback because we don't like the guys that are dropping. My opinion, it's all weapons on the table. No offensive linemen at all. No J.C. Latham, no Amarius Mims, no Talis Fuaga, none of those guys. I think it's going to be all weapons. I really don't think cornerback would be an option at 6 because, honestly, the top 15 is mostly offense in terms of the players. Malik Neighbors, I think there's a lot of smoke there, but that's not for me to discuss now. Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think will be the first wide receiver off the board, probably either going to New England or Arizona. Brock Bowers, top tight end in college football. I'm not necessarily a fan of taking Brock Bowers at 6. And then Rome Odunze, the Washington wide receiver. And then, again, O-line could come into play at cornerback, but I really think it's just mostly weapons at 6. Now, what to do about quarterback? There's two options, but essentially some of the options have already been figured out. Number 1 is developmental draft pick. You could take a Spencer Rattler in the 2nd and 3rd round, hope he pans out, and basically try to treat him like a Brock Purdy. Not that he is Brock Purdy, but like a Brock Purdy, a Dak Prescott, or Russell Wilson. Someone who could become either a good backup or a capable starter, maybe even a good starter or a great starter. Some of these late round guys do have the smallest chances of being elite players or at least solid starters in the NFL at quarterback, but again, those chances are pretty low. Joe Milton, I know a lot of people like his tools. I don't. Carter Bradley, that's just late round. Michael Pratt, like 3rd, 4th, 5th round from Tulane. Sam Hartman, but I don't think he fits the Giants at all, and I don't really want him. So you could pick a developmental quarterback. Now, I don't really see the point in that, to be honest with you, because it kind of would remind me of what the Giants did in 2018, 2019, where they picked Kyle Lauletta in the 4th. And this is not even with the situation in the NFL now, where you only keep 2 quarterbacks on the active. So it reminded me of the situation, or at least if the Giants did this, where they pick Kyle Lauletta, then the following season they keep Alex Tanney, and they release Kyle Lauletta, which was pure garbage asset usage. But nonetheless, you could have that and still have Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, but it would be interesting to me how they resolve that. Like, you're not keeping 3 quarterbacks, so you either cut Drew Lock or you basically sideline Daniel Jones on PUP or something like that and make up an injury. Or that wouldn't even work because you need to pay him $25 million injury guarantee if he gets injured. So the Giants would have to do something like that, or they pick somebody up off the scrap heap. Now, expectations. This is probably where a lot of people will disagree with me, and you are entitled to your opinion in the comment section or wherever else you disagree with me, right? Number 1, expectation. Expect, in quotes, Daniel Jones to take a big leap and playoffs. Now, it's not just about expectations. It's about what the organization is trying to sell us. Why do we want to go in the building? Is there an enticing quarterback? Is there an enticing wide receiver? Like the Giants, Saquon Barkley is gone. Okay? Daniel Jones is not someone who's going to get fans in the building. Some of the other guys in this roster, as good as they are, not going to get the fans in the building. So there's that. Dable, as solid as he's been as a head coach, not going to get guys in the build, not going to get people in the building in general. So If you go weapons at 6, 11, or 23, or whatever the case may be, and basically rebuild around Daniel Jones, I think it is not far off for fans to say you guys need to go to the playoffs this year and basically reprove to us that Daniel Jones is the quote-unquote guy. Because I would say 90% of the fan base has erased him from their thoughts as this franchise quarterback. And I don't blame them in any sort of way. Now, a lot of people are saying to me, you know, this is not doubling down, this, that, and the other thing. Well, there's two routes to that. Are you really going to have a $40 million gap quarterback? Now, you'd probably have that either way if you drafted a first-round quarterback, but at the same time, there's a plan, there's a vision. Keeping Daniel Jones and Drew Lock on the same roster, I mean, it just doesn't, it's not very appetizing. So my second thing is, what if Drew Lock starts like Jarrett Stidham did with the Broncos, and you don't have Daniel Jones play, you have him take a fucking clipboard so he doesn't get injured? Now, again, that would be a very weird situation for the Giants because, again, what are you selling? Now, Drew Lock is a gap quarterback. He's a guy that could start a few games for you. But in my opinion, at least if that's the case, you would like to, I would say, get a better backup quarterback because Drew Lock is not going to lead you to the playoffs. I mean, he's not that good of a quarterback. Hell, if we didn't even talk about this DJ injury guarantee shit, I think Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Drew Lock. Drew Lock is just a gunslinger. He takes more risks than Daniel Jones. But, again, it goes to the point is Daniel Jones, if he starts, I think there should be expectations for playoffs. And Drew Lock, if he starts, it's just a gap year. And again, what are you selling the fan base on? Because you have to keep in mind this, folks. Next year's class is not as good. I'm telling you that right now. Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, and that's it for right now until you'll have the draft analysts mock up some guys. Number two, the Giants probably won't be in position to draft a quarterback next year, and we'll get the asset excuse again because guess what? The Giants will win probably between 5 and 8 games in 2024, in my personal opinion, because remember, the schedule is a little bit easier. So you have that, and the Giants will end up, I don't know, between 7th and 15th in the draft, and the Giants be set to trade up for Shedeur Quinn Ewers. I don't really like those chances at all, but my opinion, the Giants should take a quarterback in the first round, but we'll see what the Giants do. This is definitely a realistic situation where they don't take the quarterback. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Subscribe. Do all the good stuff. As mentioned again, we are close to 2,000. We just need a few more subscribers. Peace out, guys. See you later.